couldn't override it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
All right. Welcome everybody to Real Brothers to the real for the real world. And I'm TL, and that's my man Stace.
What's up,
And
y'all?
we have two special guests today of the NAAGA. We have Jarrell and Carice of that gun talk. And we're gonna bust it up about all of this, gun violence and the rest of it. We want to welcome y'all to our digital neighborhood. And Stace, why don't you let us know, what topics we're gonna be knocking out tonight?
All right. Once again, y'all, like TL said, welcome to our weekly podcast, The Real Brothers of the Real World. This is our digital neighborhood. Like you said, we're going to be joined today by a couple special guests of the National African American Gun Association. We have 4 topics we're going to roll out. Feel free to click on the link, submit your questions, or maybe click on the link and join us. First topic, we have NRA versus NAAGA, NAAGA. We have gun safety. We have black militia. And should every black person own a gun? But as we said, as we talked about, Jarrell, we're going to start the conversation off with those 4 topics there, and then we'll let the conversation go where it goes.
But before we get into the topics, why don't you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about you and Jarrell and excuse me, you and Carice
Yeah,
and
sure.
the
NAA.
NAAGA, yeah, the
Yes.
National African
So
American Gun
I'm,
Association.
I'm Jarrell Crew, my wife's Carice Crew, and we started that gun talk firearm safety training class. So we started because of the passion that we had for the people in our community,
Mm.
and seeing people, do things in the community and get injured by firearms when it never had to happen in the first place. If there was education and training behind that, was breaking my heart.
Mm.
So my passion has always been to our community to make sure that our people are up to speed and are educated in firearm safety,
Mm.
how to utilize the firearm, not only how to utilize the firearm, but also when you are able to shoot, when you are not able to shoot, understand the laws, understand
Right.
reciprocity in different
Yeah.
states. The
Nice.
laws they vary in different states,
Nice.
and so a lot of things, can be stopped, man, if we just take that time, get that training, that educational piece down, and then we understand how we move, because we know if we move in the wrong direction or a wrong way, that's it for us.
That's right.
Right. Right.
That's
That's
it
right.
for us.
Right.
That's it. We done.
We done.
So, the passion and the passion brothers is to protect the community, the neighborhood, people in our community and the surrounding areas, man, that come to us to learn more about this firearm safety training piece, and people are just, so afraid of the climate that's going on right now,
Mm. True.
that, and we're getting a large influx of women coming in.
Yeah, I saw that.
Are women coming in? Here
Hey,
she
Carice, how
Good
you
afternoon.
doing?
Good afternoon, Carice. Welcome. Welcome to the digital neighborhood.
How are we doing?
Good, good. How are
We're
you?
good.
Good. Thanks for having us.
No problem.
Nice to see you
No,
guys.
thank you
Same
for
here.
coming on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jarrell was just telling us about why you guys got into the NAA
NAAGA,
NAGA.
yeah,
NAAGA,
yeah,
National
NAGA.
American Gun Association. Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. And I can say it now when having a conversation with Atlas, as soon as he mentioned the organization, I knew that we had to do something to get you on because, as TL said earlier, he's a huge gun enthusiast,
Yeah.
which kind of explains one of the questions that we're going to talk about: should every black person own a gun?
Yes.
And so I knew that this would be right up his alley.
Mhm.
I have a quick question though, in
Sure.
reference to something that you said earlier, Jarrell.
Mhm.
What is one of the biggest misconceptions that folk have about gun ownership?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that people just have I'm gonna say our people just have a natural fear of firearm.
Mm.
Like, just
Yeah.
I don't want to touch it. It might go off. It might do this and that, and that's not the case. You know, it's just not the case. You know what I mean? And so my thing is, when people realize, like, certain firearms have safeties on them, right?
Right.
So I always break down and I explain to people that listen, a safety is nothing but a mechanical device that can fail.
Mm.
Okay.
Right.
So the
Right.
real safety that you have is your trigger finger,
Wow.
your brain.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right. And that's
You
just
don't-
like you were saying before
Yes,
with the that's where the training comes into
Mm-hmm.
play.
exactly.
You know, because
Exactly.
there's a lot of guys out here, especially like we were when I was in Philly last week, we were talking about the gun violence in Philadelphia right now.
Yes.
And it's surprising because most of the gun violence in Philadelphia is being committed by like from the age groups of like 12 to 18.
Right.
God's world, man.
And that's insane. Like
Yes, it is.
a
Yes, it is.
12-year-old with a
Right.
firearm, like
Yeah.
come on, man. We
That's really disturbing.
Yes, it
yeah,
is.
Um,
But
that's crazy.
all right, so y'all ready to jump into these topics? I'll repeat the
let's go.
topics,
Yes,
and
sir.
since you all are our guests, you can kind of choose the direction or the first topic that you want to discuss. All right, so we
Okay.
have NRA versus NAAGA, meaning the difference between the two organizations.
Mhm.
Gun safety. We have black militias, and should every black person own a gun? So, where do you two want to go? Which direction? Which one do you want to
So,
tackle first?
I mean, we can go with the first one that you discussed about NRA versus NAGA and things of that
Okay.
nature. So, NRA has been around for since like 1821, right? So, they have a lot of traction in this gun world, right? So, a lot of training and everything has been developed originally by the NRA. So, we give respect to the NRA. I
Okay.
mean, they've been there, they put in the most time.
Mm.
Have there been some issues? Have there been some complaints? Has there been some missteps? Yes. But you know what? I think you find that in every organization, you're going to find some bad apples. They're going to be there. As a matter of fact, I know a person in the NRA, and I'm actually a member now of the NRA as well. And we're both members of the NRA, and I'm going to tell you why. Um,
And we're trainers as well.
yeah, we're also instructors in the NRA as
Oh,
well.
wow. Nice. Wow.
Because it's important to be well-rounded in this game.
Mm.
You got to be well-rounded. You got to understand that there's bad apples everywhere you go.
Right.
There's also some good apples there as well.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I met a person there in the NRA, a really nice person, and the brothers really helped us out big time.
Mm.
As far as bringing my knowledge up on firearms and how to zero in and things of that nature, you know, very welcoming, opening for us, and is really wanting to help our community and give us training so we can train our community
Nice.
for free.
Nice. Wow.
You know,
Right.
so that was big respect, you know, on that end. I mean, like I said, have we had issues? Yeah, we had issues in the past with NRA, but you know, here's a good example for you. I had a young lady that came to me that needed to get her firearm back. I don't know what happened, what the situation was, but she needed to get her firearm back. And she went to the Philadelphia court system, and they said, "Okay, we will grant you your firearm
Back
back.
from the police.
Yes, you will be able to get your firearm back, but you have to take an NRA certified safety course."
Wow. Wow.
So
So they
that's
truly
how
dug in. Yeah.
deep that they're in. You understand?
Right.
They didn't say USCCA, they didn't say NAGA,
Mm.
NRA,
Right.
right?
Connected. Mm-hmm.
And really, we're all in this 2A thing together.
Yeah.
Period. 2A. That's what it is. That's what it's about. Helping people understand our 2A law. That's really it. So at the end of the day, NRA, NAGA, USCCA, we're in it to help people
For your
understand.
Second Amendment, right?
I was gonna say 2A referring
That
to
didn't
Second
know what
Amendment.
2A
Second Amendment,
was.
right.
Second Amendment, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the true power behind all of us understanding what we're here for.
Yeah, those are the things that kind of connect us, unite us. You know, that's one common ground that unites us, that Second Amendment right for us to carry firearms, the right to bear arms. You know, that's so important, you know what I mean? But then NAGA comes along, an organization started by Philip Smith in 2015. We have over 40,000 members now, over 150 chapters throughout the United States of America. And it's sort of like an NRA for Black people.
Yeah, I saw y'all have a chapter
Right.
down here in North Carolina.
Yeah, he's in North
So
Carolina.
so I'm gonna be up on that for real.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
now, when you say an NRA for Black folk, why say it that way? Why make that distinction? And then the other question I wanted to go into is, I saw in the article that you said you were a member and you left, or you saw some things that kind of you weren't comfortable with. So can you elaborate on those a little bit?
For what now?
why make the distinction? You said the other chapters of NAAGA comes along. You're kind of the NRA for Black folk. Why make that distinction? That's the first thing. And then the second lead-in question was, in the article, you kind of mentioned that you were a member of the NRA, left because something wasn't, you weren't quite comfortable with something. So I wanted to know if you can elaborate on that a little bit.
Right. So which one?
Well, I don't think we've ever left the NRA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe we just had to renew our membership. I don't know. No, we've always been a part of the NRA. We've always been a part of NAAGA. And we've always been part of USCCA. The USCCA, basically, he's a TC counselor. He trained me.
Nice.
To help teach people.
So now she's an instructor.
So now I'm an instructor, and we're really trying, because we have women coming out in droves, and it's really important that at the end of the day, we're here to help our people. That's it. And I think really with NAAGA, that's the true foundation. Like, of course, Black people, we skeptical, right? Nobody wanted to get that COVID.
Rightfully so. Yeah.
Right? We didn't want to get that COVID-19 shot at all, right? So now we have our people, us, that look like us, that are training us.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
So
that's one of the reasons that I didn't join the NRA, because I didn't feel as comfortable around, especially down here,
right,
with the folks who were touting the NRA. You get what I mean? So when I found out, and I just found this out recently about your guys' group, the National African American Gun Association. Like, nice. I was like, okay, now we talking. You know what I'm saying? And not that I'm not racist or anything.
Right,
like
exactly.
But
bro.
it's about comfortability. If I'm gonna be around other folks with the same kind of weaponry that I have,
right,
I want to be comfortable.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's something also, guys, to be proud of. That that you could be trained by someone that looks like you.
True.
Right. And like you said, TL, it's that comfortability thing that you have because this person looks like me, and we ought to be proud of that. You know what I mean? We ought to be proud of the fact that we have people in our community that are also well trained and respected on both sides. Right. You know what I'm saying? Respected on both sides. So it's not that the NRA or NAAGA is trying to be better than anyone. It's just a group of us coming together to help train our Black and brown people.
Right.
It's not a prejudice organization. All are welcome to join if they choose so, but they understand that this is built upon the African American experience with firearms in America. Right.
So and we also, and I may be wrong about this, but I would think that we would be trained a little bit differently just because of the I don't want to say privilege, but because of the way we're perceived.
Right.
So
there's an extra layer.
Automatically, a Black man with a gun is a criminal in a lot of folks' eyes. You know what I mean?
And listen,
so there's a way. There must be a way that you guys navigate that. That
explain it. So is that why you said NAAGA is the NRA for Black folk? Is that kind of the reason why you said that?
Yes, that's kind of the reason why I said that, because listen, the fact of the matter is we do understand that there's been a lot of unjustified shootings in our community, right? And so we do have to train different. It's not always the same. Like, so I had a police officer come into our chapter and speak to our members, and I wanted our members to engage him and ask him, what should we do when we get stopped? How should we interface with the officer when we get stopped?
Wow.
Tell us what we should do. So we can survive that situation.
Right.
Because sometimes we know a lot of times what happens is if we get stopped and we do the wrong steps, we can find ourselves in big trouble.
Right.
So the officer he told us that, he said, listen, in my 26 years of service, I had an issue with one person who had a license to carry a firearm, and that's because he had to shoot a dog that was attacking him.
Oh wow.
Everybody else he dealt with was criminals, man.
Right.
It was criminals because they don't, people who have ill will don't go out, get fingerprints, get their photos taken, go get background investigations. They don't do all that stuff,
Right.
So it was.
And another thing is too, when we're stopped with a gun, right? Automatically, they don't know us, and I can understand that they fear for their life or whatever like
Absolutely.
that.
Right.
But their fear level is already on 10.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And once you tell them there's a gun,
Right.
around,
Right.
now the fear level is
Right.
increased.
Right. Right.
So
And
you
and
really
most,
have to be able to to follow some kind of like
An additional protocol. Right. Yeah.
protocol, right?
yes.
That man, I'm trying to get home tonight.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's why I make sure I train our people how you interact with law enforcement.
Mhm.
I got stopped by the police officer, and he came up to my car. I had my hands on the steering wheel. I said, "Officer, I am a licensed carrier. I am carrying. It's on my right hip. How
Mm.
would you like me to proceed?"
Nice.
He said,
Nice.
"Thank you very much. I appreciate that."
Wow.
And I
Yeah.
had no issue. I had no
Did he
issue.
ask you for your license and your
I gave him my
carry
license.
license and
I
all
gave him
that?
my
Okay.
license and everything. I gave everything to him. He said my gun license wasn't needed. He appreciated me being honest with him. Went back, gave me a warning, let me go.
Mm.
Wow.
You know,
It sounds like even the way you explain that though, Jarrell, it sounds like a lot of it is being humble. Even in the article, it talked about I'm not sure who said it, but someone said that if they were to witness something, their first goal is to be able to get out.
that's right.
So really, the gun is just protection, really, for you to not get caught up in something that you don't want to get caught up in.
Right.
But
Right.
the goal is still, like Tail just said, to get out and to get home safely. So, and
Exactly.
even listening to the way that you responded, you really humbled yourself.
Yes.
You humbled yourself and said, okay, you know what? Your authority. I
Yes.
respect that. I'm carrying, and then you proceeded.
That's exactly
Um,
right.
so
But
I
then there's
guess
situations where you can't control
true.
how the officer. It depends on where you are.
Yes,
That's
that's
It
correct.
different.
depends on the
That is
circumstances.
In the
correct.
mindset of the
You know what I
officer.
mean? The mindset of the officer. So there's a lot of moving parts
Mhm.
Yes.
other than us doing what we need to do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's
Yes.
also a criteria that needs to be met
On their
by these
side, right?
people that are you know
Brother,
Commitment.
yeah.
it's really unfortunate how we have to move as African Americans and black and brown people in this country.
Right.
Um, But like I said, that's why I train our people to move a certain way. Like your license, you keep that up in your visor.
Mm.
So you don't have to reach in the glove
Reach for
box
it.
for any license stuff like that. It's in your visor.
Nice.
I'm reaching in my visor to grab my license so I can get this to you.
Wow.
You know
Right.
what I
Nice.
mean?
Nice. All
Things of
right.
that nature. So the worst thing you can do is if you get in a traffic stop with a firearm, most of the time they already know you have a license to carry by running your tags.
Mm.
Some states they know you have a license to carry. So the best thing you can do is not to make subtle movements or let them just find the gun. Just tell them.
Mm.
Keep your
Wow.
hands where you can see them because officers are trained to watch your hands,
Right.
right?
Right.
Keep your hands where you can see them. Officers right here. It's on this side. It's on that side. How would you
Wow.
like to proceed? And if there's two officers that walk up to your car, one might be a senior, one might be a rookie. Rookie might be on the passenger side. Senior might be on the driver's side. Seniors ask you questions. You tell the senior, I have a license to carry a firearm. He says, where's it at? I say, here's on my side. He says, okay, I want you to slowly hand it to me. And I would say at that point, officer, I don't think that's a good idea. I would rather
Wow.
you take that because
Mm.
that rookie officer on the left hand, on the right
Mm.
hand side,
Right.
he see you reaching
Curtains.
and he's
That's
going to
right.
put
I
one
got a
in,
reason. That's right.
Right.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
just got to be smart and survive those incidents. That's all.
Just to get home. All right. So just a quick re-intro. We're joined today by Carice and Jarrell Crew, members of the National African American Gun Association, and we're discussing gun issues.
Yes.
The first topic we talked about NRA and the NAAGA, the acronym for the organization. Now we have three more topics. I want to put them out there. And again, y'all let us know which direction you want to go. We have gun safety.
Mm,
We have black militia.
mm.
And should every black person own a gun? I know where Terry want to go, but where do y'all want to go since y'all are the guests?
Yeah.
I go either one, whatever you want to do. Which one do, babe?
I let's hit them with the gun safety, and you can talk to them about the universal safety rules
Yeah.
that
Okay.
I think that every person should know and live with.
See, once you understand, gun safety is like that's our bread. That's what we live by, because that's how we keep people safe in our community.
Mm.
And I push throughout my training is gun safety. there's universal safety rules in the firearm world. They're called universal safety rules. And that first universal safety rule is to treat all guns as though they're loaded and always perform a clearance check every time you pick one up.
Wow.
So you always do that, right? The next one is to keep the firearm pointed in a safe direction. And, and don't flag yourself with that muzzle. So always keep that firearm pointed in a safe direction.
Don't
right?
flag yourself with the muzzle.
The muzzle. Never run that muzzle across yourself.
Okay.
Or anybody else.
We put it this way, exactly. Never point that firearm at anything you are not willing to destroy.
Okay.
Including yourself.
Nice. Okay.
Right?
Got it.
So, and when I talk about safe directions with firearm, what is a safe direction? A safe direction is simply a direction that if that firearm happened to go off, it would not hit anyone. That's a safe direction, right? Then the other rule is keep your finger off the trigger and outside that trigger guard until you're on target and you have made that decision to shoot, right? Because, if a situation comes up and you have to stop yourself from a threat and you grab your firearm and your fingers on the trigger and your adrenaline and endorphins is moving and your body, you're shaking.
Right.
If fingers on the trigger, you may accidentally pull it. But if you keep it outside that trigger, on that and on the frame of the gun at all times until you're on target and make that decision to shoot, nobody gets hurt.
Nice.
Right.
And please say something to the. I hope some of our young brothers and sisters in Philly are listening. You guys that's out here just wielding these guns, shooting with your eyes closed, shooting up, the neighborhood, shooting up innocent people, killing kids.
Yes.
Listen to what real using a gun is all about.
Right.
You don't shoot a gun with your eyes closed.
That's
you
right.
don't shoot it sideways.
Right.
You don't shoot the gun,
exactly.
just all over the place. You aim whatever. I mean, I'm not trying to show nobody how to.
I understand, my brother. I understand.
But you understand there's a lot of people getting killed for no reason,
And a lot of
that. You're right.
A lot of that stuff, TL, is Hollywood.
Right, man.
Exactly.
So when you start teaching people the universal safety rules, and that other rule I was going to tell you is you have to know your target, what's beyond it, and what's around it. Because every shot might not be a good shot. There may be children behind that person. There may be children in front of that person. If you're not a good shot, you might not want to take that shot. Because I teach my students and the people in our community that every round that leaves your firearm has and that misses your intended target or your intended threat.
It's going to hit something.
It's deadly, right?
And attorney's name attached to that.
Wow.
Everyone you miss.
Right.
That's
you understand? Wow. So I look at the situation with Alex Baldwin, who shot someone.
I was going to say that. You talking about the safety check? Yep.
He broke 3 of the universal safety rules. They say if you break 2, you're bound to have an accident. First of all, he didn't treat that gun like it was loaded. He didn't perform a clearance check. If he did that, he saw there was a round in that chamber.
Right. Himself.
Check that out, right? Then his finger was on the trigger.
Right.
And he had it pointed at somebody. Bound to have an accident.
Right.
And that's what happens in our community. Our children find guns in the home. Parents haven't taught them nothing because they're afraid to teach their children about gun safety.
Right.
Don't let the child get the gun. Don't let the child get mystified with the gun. Teach them about it.
But see, we got kids killing other kids for a rep.
Right.
And killing other kids for like just nonsense. Like, you know what I mean? And one thing, now I'm a gun advocate.
Yes, sir.
Stacy will tell you.
Yes, sir.
But these kids with getting easy access to these guns,
that's a problem.
Like I'm mystified as how they even get guns. I can see maybe every once in a while kids stumble across a gun.
Right.
But these kids is packing like
seems like it's a bigger problem.
Yeah, like they packing like it's supposed to be that way. Right. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Okay.
These guns.
Wait, say that again, Jarrell.
I said somebody's supplying these guns on our
street.
There
you go. And since he brought it up, what as an organization that in support of gun ownership, of course, I'll let you explain it. How do you view that then? I heard what you just said. Somebody supplying these guns. How do you view the fact that so much killing and death and everything is happening in our community from gun violence that seem to be coming from nowhere? How do you view that?
To be honest with you, brother, I am still stuck on trying to put this piece together because Philadelphia is like I've never seen before. And we don't have like, I don't know if it comes down to parenting or what, but we don't have that sense of love for each other no more in the community. Like growing up, I knew everybody in my block. You know what I mean? The neighbors knew everybody. They could tear my butt up if I did something wrong and bring me home, but my mother ain't gonna jump on them. My father ain't gonna jump on them. I might get another beat, you know what I mean, or a spank or whatever you want to call it. But I think these video games, bro, the music, influential in the music, glorifying, killing each other. I just don't get it. We don't come back. This is not a game. You don't come back.
Right.
You can't start over. And we're making.
See, I don't think this is from people that respond. I don't think these murders are coming from responsible gun.
Correct. That's what he said earlier. Yeah.
That's
it's not coming there. It's not coming from there.
Right. So there has to be some entity somewhere that are allowing these guns into our streets.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because
absolutely.
There's no way you can go into a gun store if you're under 21,
right?
Or you know what I mean?
And legally,
and have they have checks already.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking maybe they need to be a little bit more stringent. Maybe I'm not
Yes.
sure. Like I don't know where to go with that. You know what I mean? But the thing is, the people that are actually doing all the killing are the people who getting these guns illegally.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
and that's a big problem, man.
Go ahead, Jerome. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying that's a really big problem, and I think that really there needs to be some type of task force put together by the city to go after and to really look into this. Because there's no way, man, that these youngsters are getting firearms like this. They're getting Glock 17s with 50-round magazines and drums and clips put in the back of them.
Because really, can you really blame the kid? I mean, he's living what he sees on TV.
Right.
He got access to a deadly weapon, and he thinks, I don't know what he thinks. Actually,
well,
a
kid. No, you can't blame the kid, but a lot of this stuff is also happening with adults that you can blame.
That's exactly right.
Because, like Jarrell said, I mean, fire. I don't care what you think, but at a certain age, if you're shooting a gun at somebody, that there's a possibility that if you hit them, you're going to kill them. And those, there ought to be consequences for that. Now, let me ask you this then. Now, I know that the NRA, a lot of times you hear them saying things like the only way to stop a person with a gun is a good guy with a gun. And their position seems to be push more guns out there. Make sure everyone has access to guns, regardless if they have mental health issues or abused their spouse in the past. It's almost as if they don't care about any of that. Where do you fall on that? What is it? More guns, or less?
That's a good segue into our next topic, for real.
Well, what is it? What's the next topic?
Should every black person own?
Okay, there you go. Boom. That wasn't even intentional. All right. Yeah. Okay. We're listening. What are your thoughts on that?
Listen. Should every black person own a gun? Every black person that has the ability to possess a firearm and has that background that's clear to possess a firearm, yes, you should possess a firearm. Unfortunately, we have people in our community that have mental illness. That's a real issue in our community. Absolutely. Nobody really wants to talk about that. Should a person that has mental illness have a gun? No, absolutely not. So there should be checks and things like that, so that they don't get in the hands of the wrong people,
right?
Things of that nature. Like I had someone in my family that he needed me to help him get a firearm. And I took him out there, and I didn't realize that on his record that, he had attempted suicide when he was young. So they denied him that firearm because that was in the record. So there are some good checks and bounds that's out there, that's actually working. But the problem is the people that know how to slip below all of that to get a firearm.
Right.
That's the issue.
Now, speaking of a record, right? So, let me see. Well, back in the 80s, I wasn't always the upstanding citizen that I am now, right?
Gotcha.
And I got a couple dings. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Northside Strong joint wasn't the only kind of record I got. You know what I mean?
Right. Northside Strong was our rap group, in case y'all didn't
Okay,
know.
so yeah, we had record back in the day, but
Right,
that wasn't the only kind of record I had. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So, uh, is there any remedies for
Mm-hmm.
for
Good question.
for 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 people who have had trouble in the past, but are now, you know, I haven't had anything on my record since, since the late, I mean, since the early '90s or the late '80s.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What, how does that work?
According to the system, as long as you don't have a felony, you're able to possess a firearm.
Mm,
So, you
that's
know,
interesting. Mm-hmm.
here's how they can catch a lot of us up. We get screwed up. A young guy came to me and asked me how he wanted to buy a firearm. He knew somebody I could buy a firearm off of.
Mm,
And here's the thing: see, if you catch them young and say, "Listen, you don't need to buy a firearm off the street. You can go buy one legally."
right, right.
And if they get it legally and they go through the process, then they'll be less apt to do something crazy to lose that license and
True.
lose that ability to have that firearm for the rest of their life.
That's
Right, right.
Jarrell, that's an interesting point. And
But I
I
mean, what if
let,
they've
let,
already
wait,
had that in their past? Oh, go ahead.
I
So,
just want to say something. Just want to say something real quick, which is really interesting. We always talk about solutions with people out there running buck wild. Something that Jarrell said was heavy. You know a young guy with a gun that has it illegally. Maybe one of the things that we do is try to coax that young person or that person to go get a license, because now the respect that they're gonna have for that license that they've earned the right way, like
that's
you
right.
said, they're less likely to run out there with an unregistered gun
That's
running
right.
buck wild.
Hmm.
And lose
So
that privilege for the rest of their
use
life.
that privilege,
and
right?
and you should have to take a class. Now I agree
Yes.
with that totally, because
Yeah.
that would eliminate a whole bunch of these
Oh man. Man, you are talking the truth.
people that are
Yes.
are are shot.
Mm, true.
You know what I mean?
Brother,
Just
you
for
have
being in
said
the
the
wrong
truth.
place.
That
Right,
is the
yeah.
absolute truth, brother. I'm telling you.
Mhm.
When people walk out of our training class, they're like, I didn't know that I couldn't
Right,
do this. I thought I
Wow.
could just do this and do that.
right.
So I see it as that, like the wife and I, we're saving our folks, man,
Mm,
winding up in a system that you can't get out of.
that's right.
Right,
That's right.
right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Simple
It,
thing, you put you in a system now you can't get out of it.
But you never answered me on that
Come on, yeah, come back.
like,
I was
if
gonna
you already have, yeah. So like, for people that already, is there any remedy for people
yes,
that already have a record
So meaning a
for
felony?
gun ownership? Yeah,
there
yeah.
there are, like, we have a friend of ours who actually went through a TC counseling with him. He had a record, a background, and he hired a lawyer. It was so long ago. He was a lot younger, but now
Right.
he was he convicted and he went to
I
jail.
think he did,
He
yeah.
was convicted. He went to jail. He got a lawyer. I mean, he changed his complete life around. He is now actually a TC counselor along with Jarrell,
Mhm.
where he can actually train people to become instructors. But
mm,
Right.
he did get his record clean, expunged, and things of that nature. But he went through a process. And I've heard of another client of ours that came through the training. Her partner was doing the same
Uh-huh.
thing. So we don't really know the details that you would
But
have
it
to.
can be done. It's not
It
Can
can
be
be
impossible.
done.
done. It can be done,
It's
brother. In some
possible.
cases, it can be
Right.
done. You just have to
and
Yes.
get.
some
Right.
and someone interested in purchasing a gun legally, having a record shouldn't dissuade them from at least attempting. They can come to NAAGA, and you'll be able to help them navigate, or at least point them in the direction of the way that they can go to make that legal purchase.
Absolutely. Listen, brother, I take it so serious that when people come to me and they don't have a firearm, they're like, Jarrell, I want to get a firearm. I don't know what to do. Man, I will drive them I'll take them to the store.
Yeah.
You
So
said,
Would
nice.
you
Nope.
please speak to my
Uh,
man?
yeah,
Please speak to him.
yeah.
I'll come get you, bro. Take you to the store and make sure you get the
Get him,
right
man.
thing.
Get him, please.
he does. And since we started that gun talk we've trained about over 300 people.
Mm.
It's so beautiful. And then since we've joined NAAGA, it's been really great too, because it's a gun club for people. So we're inspiring even more people. Not only are we training people through our business and that gun talk, but now we're creating a gun club where monthly we have meetings where we're inspiring people and helping them grow, and not just they're not alone. We're here for them. And there's NAGAs in over 150 states.
Wow.
So it's really great. It's real powerful.
Mm.
And I can tell you what, brothers, when we went to the SHOT Show up in Las Vegas, SHOT Show is one of the biggest gun industry shows in the world, right? So we went this year with NAAGA to represent NAAGA. They're at the first time of NAAGA being at SHOT Show. SHOT Show had their own booth and everything.
Wow.
And we were received pretty well. Pretty well, man. Very, very well. But
You
that
know,
comment,
let me ask you this. Just a quick question then. Right now, the NRA, they're having difficulty. You know, they're having problems. And I think a lot of people, and I think you kind of alluded to it with the shooting that happened when you were a member. Say it again, Nike.
I think that's financial.
Right. I mean, but not only that, though, but I think even politically. So let me ask you this then. And you mentioned, I think the organization is open to everyone. You do have white members, etc.
Yes.
Do you find now that some people that are turned off from the NRA, from their political stance, from their all of the shenanigans, are they turning to NAAGA? Are you seeing that at all?
Not necessarily so.
No. Okay.
I mean, NRA is so large, bro. It's so large that not necessarily so. You know, but you know, like I was told, there are bad apples there, and
just like everywhere.
And it's like it's everywhere. But and people are actually working to get some of these bad apples out.
Right.
You know.
Okay. But that's everywhere. Everywhere you go, you always got that little bad apple, and pluck it out before the whole bunch.
It's to be expected.
And you know what? There's a sister. She's a friend of ours. She's she has a lot of certification in NRA, right? And she was at a gun convention or something like that. Way out in the suburbs, and she started getting, threatened by, was it her house? No. This situation, she was getting threatened by. She was out, and she was getting threatened by some other people in the community.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And she said, who came to my rescue? The people that you thought wouldn't come to my rescue. They stood beside me. The rednecks, the ones you thought would not stand with me, they stood with me to make sure these people didn't bother me.
Nice.
Because we were connected in this 2A thing, and I'm an NRA member. So they stood with her. She said, you know what? That meant a lot to me.
Right. True.
They stood with me. So I was like, wow, that's respect. Okay. That's respect. Some of those, these are some of the stories that we don't hear, though.
True. Or at least enough of.
Enough of.
Right.
Terry, did you have something?
No. I was just, I was just.
I had a question. So you mentioned that you do this training monthly. So is this for members only? Is this for people who are interested in finding out about the organization? Are these monthly meetings in all the different chapters? Like, can Terry go to one in North Carolina and you have one here in Philly? How does that work?
Want to break it down?
Sure. So we have a business, that Gun Talk, where we host concealed carry classes monthly. We host basic handgun courses, and then with NAAGA, the National African American Gun Association, which my husband, he's the president of the chapter here in Philadelphia, we host meetings monthly where we have our members come in. We talk about what's going on. We talk about our future. We talk about our beliefs, and we just kind of inspire people. But we also shoot down the range, and we get practice in, and we have new members come in monthly. It's been really amazing, but it's just really a great way to help us understand our 2A rights, and come together as a family in this. And just kind of, we actually even have like the nest that we're building. So what the nest is helping people know who is in your community that can help you if something goes down, right?
Wow.
If we have a natural disaster.
That's nice.
Yeah,
so if there's a natural disaster, who has water? How are we prepared? How are we emergency prepared, right? So these are things that we do through NAAGA, and we still also have the opportunity to train people in our communities. They join. You can join a chapter wherever you live. People join a chapter here. They join our chapter here in Philadelphia, and it's just it's amazing. It's amazing to see how many people are really ready to
Right.
take
having groups and being able to communicate or to know that you have a contact outside of your normal
Mm-hmm.
circle, that's
Yes.
big.
Yes.
and,
It's
and,
big,
and that's
man.
also a good segue into our next topic about black militias.
Nice.
Mhm.
Nice. Right.
You know, like so I have questions. I'm sure that we have black militias the same way
Yes.
that we have white militias.
Yes.
But what is the so in my opinion, a lot of those white militias are seem to be anti-government, anti-racist. I mean, or
Racist.
racist and anti-government.
Hmm.
But the black militias seem to be more for protection of black people. Do I have that wrong, or
I
or
think
am I misinformed on that?
I'm not really sure on those type of militias like that run like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I focus on making sure our people stay safe on the legal side.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So when we do things, now you have a right to do things in this country, absolutely. Like we have the right to bear arms, absolutely. We do have the right to do all those things. But I just try
Right.
to make sure I keep our people on the right side of the track so we don't do nothing stupid because it just takes something small for us to do, and then we done.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
others can do other things, but we
That's right.
can't do all those things.
Correct.
Because
We
if we
cannot.
know, then we're done. We won't hope for something. Now we lost this privilege or that privilege. So
Right.
I'm
Right.
very careful, when we do the
Which
militia
is
thing.
not fair, by the way. But
It's
yeah.
No.
not fair.
Correct. It's not fair.
It's not fair. You know what I mean?
But that's
Um,
reality, unfortunately.
that's reality. But the other reality is that listen, every black person that's capable to carry a firearm should have a firearm.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That
what I
firearm
believe.
is to defend yourself and your
Mm-hmm.
community
Right.
if need be.
Mm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and
That's what I believe.
That's
I
what I
just think
believe.
that we have the opportunity to help people to understand how to store firearms, to utilize them properly. And it's not just to protect yourself. There's competition shooting. You can go hunting. There's so many other things to do. And if the youth even understood this competition, people get scholarships for school through
Oh wow.
competition shooting.
Mm. Mm.
There's so much to do besides use it against each other.
Right.
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 Use it say, oh,
And
this
that's
is
the thing. If people would just learn that. Well, when I say people, I'm always referring to our people. And I believe that instead of us killing each other with these guns and these
Mhm.
firearms, we should be using these firearms to protect each other.
Mm-hmm.
We would
Right.
have a lot less.
Right.
We would have a lot less crime, a lot less murder. We would
Right.
have a lot less violence if we just realized that. Hey, stop killing your brother, man. Stop.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Stop.
Right.
Stop killing him. Stop killing each other. You got that firearm. Protect yourself.
And you know
You know what I mean?
another big piece of that, brothers, is that in order, to help defend and protect our neighborhoods, we need more black police officers on the force
Ah,
Mm.
to
Right.
police
from the
our own
neighborhoods,
From the
so we can
community.
neighborhood.
protect it.
We
Absolutely.
gotta
Right.
police our own community.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
if
Right.
somebody messing with Miss Jones, yo, you messing with Miss Jones? Listen, I know Miss
I know
Jones.
her.
I
Right.
know
Go
Miss
right through
Jones.
you.
She
Right.
beat me.
That's what
Right.
I'm talking
Right.
about. And
You
that's
understand?
we and there's a lot less fear when
That's
a
right.
guy from the neighborhood is a
Yes.
cop. Cause he's not scared of Joe down the street because
Right.
he like,
That's his
come on,
son.
Joe, we went to
Yeah, this
school
is
together.
son's age.
Stop
Right.
playing.
Let me
Right.
go
You know
talk
what I
to
mean?
Mr. Son. Let me go talk
Right.
to him.
Right, yeah. Let me go
Right.
to
Right.
right. You
It
know
don't
what I
turn
mean?
into a
Exactly.
shooting. It
Exactly.
don't turn into a shooting.
Exactly.
So do you guys, especially when you get the young that come into your organization, is that something that you guys talk about? Do you talk to them about looking into, especially if you're talking about protecting the community as a whole? Do you try to convince them or talk to them about thinking
Absolutely.
about joining the force?
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah, I'm
Go
a
ahead.
teacher.
Oh wow.
I teach fifth grade.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Oh wow. Nice.
Catch him
so
early.
Catch them early, right?
You have to.
we have to. So I talk to them about that. We talk about what's going on in our community. We talk about things that are happening. And I will ask them, how many of you wanted to be police officers?
Nice.
And they're looking at me like, why?
Right. And
Yeah,
that's the
right.
problem.
Yeah, but how do we change what we see in our community, because they're afraid. Like my students
Right.
are afraid of being shot.
Mm.
They tell me these type of
But
things.
they have an honest fear.
Right.
It's just that we have to change what our young people we have to change the way our
Experience.
young people are programmed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
we always tell people,
We have to make sure that they, because every cop is not bad. I'm not saying that.
Exactly.
But in the same thought, those good cops should be rooting out those bad
Correct.
cops. You know what I mean? There should be no blue wall of silence. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
There should be
right.
no qualified immunity.
Right.
You know what I mean? We should have on in our police forces, we should have as many people from these specific neighborhoods
Mm-hmm.
as we do, you know, people coming from different. It should be at least be a
Absolutely.
mixture, half and
Mm-hmm.
half.
Yes,
Like
brother.
you shouldn't
Yes.
be able to police a neighborhood that you're scared to be in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? That doesn't make sense.
Listen, we need to be able to police our own neighborhoods.
Yeah.
If we want to see a change, we got to start policing our own neighborhoods.
Right.
Get on the fire department. You don't like
Right.
be a firefighter for your neighborhood.
Right.
For your community.
Right.
So
Some
now,
public
important,
service.
man.
Right. Yeah.
now, when you talk to the youth in your class, you said fifth graders, so that's close to that's about what, 10.
Mhm.
Right. So is it fear? I mean, they just never thought about it. Has anyone ever come to you and say, "Oh, you know what? Maybe I will consider that." How do they respond to that? Is it only the fear of being shot, or is it a negative?
Well, the fear of being shot is just living every day.
Right.
And,
Right.
and these kids
In
live
their
in
communities.
these kids live in the trenches.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
They
Okay.
see these things in the community.
That's
Absolutely.
Right. And
And-
these are the ones who carrying guns too. I mean,
And
even
you
though
know
they're
what?
fifth, sixth grade.
Exactly. And then you have to ask yourself, wow. And if we really stop and put ourselves in the shoes of that child who saw his best friend get his brain blown out
That's right.
on a street corner,
Mm-hmm.
now he's fearing for his life. Somebody offers him a firearm.
He has to take it. He can take it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We really
It's a
can't really
cycle
come at him
because-
too hard because they're
Right.
trying to survive.
Right.
And I
Right.
say this on this show all the time. It's a vicious cycle because you remember in the 80s, it was the crack cocaine.
Mhm.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Now it's
Yes.
the pills.
Yes.
So we lost a whole generation. Well, actually, we lost a couple generations in between the 80s and now. And
Yes.
these was the same kids who are carrying these guns now. Their parents are those kids that we were telling, "Come on, man, get out the street." Well,
Right.
here goes a couple of dollars. Go to the store for me, just to get them,
Yes.
from off the corner or get them
Yes.
out of the street. So
Yes.
it's a double-edged sword because
It is, bro. It is.
we have to deal with the mental from these people who were destroyed previously,
Right.
and now the job is trying to build them back up,
Right.
while still they have all these guns, access to guns and violence and the whole nine. So it's kind of a
it's
rough
the mental
situation.
or the lack
Yeah.
thereof. Now,
Yeah.
Right.
you mentioned in the article that the perfect mix of COVID and I forgot the other instance that you mentioned in the article that drove people to your organization.
Oh yeah.
You saw that. So can you elaborate on that a little bit? During COVID, oh, you mentioned it. You didn't say a race war, but it was something along those lines. People are afraid that something might be coming, and you saw
Right.
a big influx of people. Can you elaborate on that?
I've been going to the firearm store for a long time, brothers. And when COVID hit down, and all the stuff that was happening politically hit down, I've never seen lines so long in my life with black people in line for firearms.
Yes, sir.
It was something in the air that you could feel something was going on. People were feeling this energy going on that I need to at least be able to protect myself.
Right. Ever
That's
since Trump
pretty
was in
much it.
office, and people started to say how they really feel about different issues, and how they really feel about different people. I think his presidency brought out a lot of uh, tension,
fear, and
tension
tension.
and
Right.
fear that
Mhm.
was underground, sort of. You know what I mean? It brought
Right,
it to the
right, right,
surface,
right, right,
and
right.
I'm like that now. Like I wish, you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
man, do whatever y'all want out there,
Right,
but don't bring it here because
right, right,
it ain't gonna end well. You know
right,
what I mean?
right, right, right.
And my thing is, I just I'm still nervous that because we're coming up on another political season.
Hmm.
We got the primaries, and then you got
The
you got
general.
the midterms, and then the
Hmm.
primaries,
Hmm.
and that seems to be when a lot of the stuff starts to boil over, right? And
Yep.
then what you got these you know racist politicians
Hmm.
and these people that are in control, and a
Hmm.
lot of times it makes you fearful. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it almost like people are going to guard themselves because they think they're going to try to bring slavery back or something crazy. You know what I mean?
Right.
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 It's
Right.
like they ought to realize it ain't going down like that,
Right.
and not in 2022. You know what I
Now,
mean?
so when you were in these long lines and you were picking up on these energies from black folk, were they voicing them, or was it just one of the things where you felt like folk were saying, "All right, we see where this is going."
I mean, they were voicing them
Mm,
like, and the majority, the main reoccurring theme was that I'm afraid.
mm.
I don't know what's about to happen.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So it's the
You
unknown.
know,
Right.
and
Yeah.
all I know, I was running people back and forth to the gun store left and right,
There
Mm.
was a lot of
and
fear mongering,
stand in line with them.
going
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
It seemed like everybody was afraid. Like the lines were ridiculously long.
Right.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Now,
And
now.
I tell you guys something else. If you remember in 2008 when the housing market crashed and
Hmm.
everything like that,
Hmm.
they're predicting another crash like that soon. And then you have, the supermarket shelves are barely being filled. Then you have people can't, pay for pay to get to work because gas prices are so high. I mean, things are really getting like people are starting to feel strangled. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
I think and this is me. I think society is going to actually break down one of these days soon, just
Listen.
because people can't eat. You know what
Listen,
I
this
mean?
is this is why, brothers, it is super important to understand how to be able to survive,
Mm-hmm. I
how
noticed
to
you mentioned
hunt,
that earlier about
how
water.
to
Who has water?
how to grow food, things of that nature. You have to know those things.
You have
Mm-hmm.
to.
A lot of
You
us don't
have
know
to.
those things, bro. We don't know how to go
We
hunt, how to
planted
stand.
seeds today, bro. We
Listen,
planted seeds today. Hey, man.
listen. A lot of us don't know that, man. We have to know
Yeah.
how to
Yes,
be able to
sir.
survive if something like that should happen.
Yeah, I grew up
Yeah.
with my dad hunting. Like I used to see deer. I tell people I was 2 years old riding in the truck with a gun next to me.
Right. I saw
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, it's about to be different out here, and
I mean, think about
I
this. Look at
feel sorry for the people that are going to who are sleeping. You know what I mean? It's going to be rough.
I mean, check this out. Look at Ukraine when they're in the war. They started throwing civilians guns here. Use this.
Hmm.
Use
Right.
this.
Yeah.
Whether you
Right.
know how to use it or not, use this.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my thing is, we can't be afraid of firearms, brothers and sisters. We can't be.
Can't be.
We have them again to do various things with them: hunt, competition, protection. But I encourage you, my brothers, and especially you, my brother, to look into get yourself a firearm
Mm-hmm.
and get training because it'll make you
Right. Right.
feel better.
Right. 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 I got
It'll
you.
make you feel better. You'll feel like, okay, wow, okay, this is really not
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm responsible. I know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing.
Right.
Okay, now I can start teaching other people. Hey, don't do that. Don't point that gun in the direction. Take your finger off the trigger. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can start
Right.
Yep.
giving those
It's
things, but
universal.
I'd rather you have something to protect yourself just in case.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
You understand?
Okay.
Home invasions happen and when I
All the
teach when
time.
a home invasion happens, you are going to be your family's first responder.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
We're
Yes,
not
True.
going to
sir.
get there in time.
You better know it.
They're not going to get there in time. They're not
That's
going to
right.
spend time.
Right.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And you can't be fumbling around looking for it, and you know, oh, let me go. No, man. When the rubber meets the road, it's go time. You know what I mean?
Brothers, look, it's so much that people don't understand. Somebody breaks into your home. The first thing we normally think we should do is go look for that person. Wrong.
Wrong.
Get yourself to a safe room with your family. Lock that door. Get your defense weapon, your defense firearm. Dial 911. Right. And stay in that location, because if you leave that location,
pick these dudes up. Right.
Exactly. You leave that location. 9 times out of 10 is more than one person in your house.
Right.
You might not see the other person that's going to go ahead and get you.
Right.
Now 911 to come pick them up.
They put have a flashlight in your safe room and your keys to your door. When the police come, I'm in the bedroom. I'm flashing my flashlight. I'm up here. I'm gonna throw my keys down to you.
Wow.
But I'm gonna stay in this room until you get here.
And give them a key word when they enter into the home. It's really it's amazing stuff what training teaches you. We've learned so much from him being an instructor and us going to these classes. I'm amazed and I feel prepared for anything.
Wow.
But
when they come in that door and they hear that clack clack, a lot of times that'll be enough to make them think about that thing too.
Avoid.
Right.
That's right.
Possibly can.
Listen, I love teaching our people this because they get liberated.
Right.
They get liberated when they know better. You start to do better. They get liberated.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they feel more confident. Go ahead, brother Stacey.
How do people find out about your organization, and how do they reach out to you, or if they want to come to now? One other question. Maybe you mentioned it. You answered it earlier. These monthly meetings, these are for members only. So this isn't a meeting that you go to find out about the information, correct?
So now what we do allow people to come sit in on one of our meetings without being a member. Just to see if they like it or not. Come sit in. No problem. Come sit in. And what's another thing I forgot to tell you guys, what's so unique about NAAGA is that every member that joins the chapter goes through what's called a new member orientation class. And in that new member orientation class, what makes us so different than other organizations is we run you through a slideshow of the historical experience of Blacks with firearms.
Whoa. Oh, that's what you mentioned that.
Show you how far back we've been actually working with these firearms.
Nice.
This is nothing new to our community.
Nice.
It's to our ancestors. This is it's amazing.
Part of our culture, right?
Hey, I wonder, is it possible to set up some kind of partnership, with the NAAGA? You know what I mean? Because we have a lot of listeners, a lot of people who may.
We could put their contact information on the site.
Yeah,
put the contact name of the organization, phone number.
With whoever you need, I can get you in contact with that. Absolutely.
Oh, you know what, Knight? Also, while we're at it, get the contact information for the one in North Carolina, because I know that my brother is good. he's gonna be reaching out. But you know what though? I think what you guys are saying and doing is good. It's good for the community. It's good for the culture. Like you said, don't be afraid of it. There are practical reasons to have a firearm. Like you said, it's not always offensive. It's protection. And it's making.
I've been trying to convince you for the last, I don't know how long.
I mean, and I'm not saying
the dark side, my brother.
now I'm not saying I'm going to go out and get one now, but it's interesting to hear the other side of it, though. I talk to you, Terry, and we talk about one thing, but to hear these things here, it's just a different perspective. Put it that way.
Yeah, you don't listen to them, but you ain't gonna
listen to me. Listen, when y'all not on, let me tell you what Terry said. When y'all not on, it's like, I'm gonna be standing on the bottom of my driveway with my gun. That's Terry. See, right now he's putting on a calm facade.
To protect my property. I'm not.
Not at the bottom of the driveway, Terry. Jarrell said go into a safe room. He said go into a safe room with your family, call the cops, and wait, meaning not being proactive. See,
here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. And this is what I teach. Here's the thing. If you step outside of your home and take yourself to a situation that happens to result in a deadly shooting, you're going to go to jail.
See,
and the reason why you're going to go to jail is they're going to say,
even on my property.
Listen. So I'm gonna get to that point. I'm gonna get to that point for you.
Okay.
You're going to go to jail because the prosecuting attorney is going to say, "Why did you leave your place of safety to go to this situation? You were safe. You left that place, took yourself to the situation. A deadly shooting occurred behind that. When all you had to do was stay inside, call 911, be a good witness. So the thing is, you defend lives, not property.
See, Jarrell, you know what? I'm gonna record this and play this over and over again.
I need the class. I need the class.
Right.
Because see that's a perfect example.
Yes.
Because I thought,
yes,
I got you. Me being, and I can't plead, and I know I can't plead ignorance in court. Like I know, you know what I mean. But I thought that if somebody tried to break into my car, or was coming up my driveway uninvited, or any of that, you know what I mean. I'm like, man,
brother,
you trespass.
Thanks, Jarrell. You saved his life, man.
I thought just like you before I was trained.
Wow.
And I got myself in a situation like this with a young man outside my house sleeping in my Jeep.
Oh, so this happened.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Damn, that's crazy.
What happened? I mean,
wow. I'm in the bed, me and the wife sleep. 6 o'clock in the morning, my doorbell rings. My neighbor saying, "Yo, somebody's sleeping inside your Jeep." And I got a Jeep Wrangler. I had a cover over it because I had a top off.
Right.
So I get up, I get my firearm. I didn't even have my holsters, put in my shorts, walked outside, took myself to the Jeep, pulled the cover back. The young boy's in there. He had a Hennessy he drank all the way down to the bottom and some pills. He in there straight knocked out. I could see that he was rummaging through my stuff, but he ain't take anything.
Right.
And this was around, when stuff was going crazy on the street. So I said, listen, I said, yo. I said, come on, man, get up. I said, come on. Young brother, I said, just go ahead, man. I said, just go. I said, go ahead, just go ahead. So he walked away.
Right.
He's like, man, where am I at? I'm like, wow, he don't even know where he is.
He don't even know where he at.
Wow. Yeah, he don't even know where he's at. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, guys. I got to get the screen back. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Okay.
There we
can still see you.
All right, there you go. Yeah. So he walked away, and then he turned back around and said, yo, I got to get something out that Jeep. And I'm like, yo, man, you're not going back in the Jeep. And he was like, I got to get something out that effing Jeep. And threw his stuff down and out, pulled my pistol out, told him, back up. Back up. He was like, oh, you gonna pull a pistol out on me? Oh, you gonna pull a pistol out on me? Then I realized this young boy ain't gonna do nothing.
Right, exactly.
So I put the pistol back in my pocket, and then a young boy came and tried to grab it out of my pocket.
See, that's the problem.
That's the problem. Tried to take it from me. I just pushed him away. My neighbors were out there. They called the police. My wife was out there with her pistol in her hand. Like
Bonnie and Clyde.
And the cops came and they arrested him. I went and spoke to the young brother. I said, brother, listen.
That could have went all kind of
I said, I don't want to shoot you. I don't want to kill you.
Right.
My son's your age.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
That's me.
I don't want to kill you, brother. I want you to do better. Don't do this, man. He apologized to me while I was in the back of the police car. They took him off and everything. But then when I got training, I realized if I would have shot that boy, we wouldn't be talking today.
Wow. See? Nice.
I left my place of safety, took myself to that situation to defend my property. And look, most states will allow you to defend your property. They just don't allow, most states won't allow you to use deadly force to defend your property.
Okay, I got
you. Know what I'm saying? So to be
I'm going to sign up for sure, man.
Nice.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
I'm telling you, brother.
I need that. I need all the information I can get.
It's so liberating when you get that information and you know what you're doing.
Right. Liberating.
Yeah.
Liberating.
Come on through online courses.
Wait, say it again.
That gun talk. We got online courses.
Oh, you got online courses too?
Yes.
Oh, I'll be on there. For real, yeah.
So we're gonna can you text over then, because we're winding things down. Can you text over the contact information, the website, or any pertinent information you think that we'll need so that we can put it on our website? Because this right here, and Terry usually waits a little while to get the stuff up, but I get the feeling that this will be the quickest that he's ever moved. This will be the quickest he's ever moved.
Terrell and Carice, we coming down to the end of the hour, but I just want to thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate all the information that you give us. Maybe later on down the road, once I'm a full member and everything like that, we can have y'all back on again and we can wrap some more.
That would be
and
great,
come up
brothers,
maybe
man.
with some solutions for these young cats.
Yes, yes.
To stop killing each other.
Yes. Stacy, Terry, thank you guys so much for what you do. Thank you for representing our communities, brothers. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate
Keep
it.
going full force ahead. We need you, bro.
We will. Now, any closing words from you two? Is there anything that y'all want to say in closing?
Well, one thing I want to say is that, listen, for our people, family, it's okay to own a firearm. You just need education and training.
Nice.
That's it.
It's okay. You don't own anything unless you can protect everything.
Whoa. Damn.
All right. Nice.
All right.
You don't own anything unless you can protect everything.
Right.
All right. So, check us out, www.thatguntalk.com. Check us out. Check out NAAGA, NAAGA.
Yeah, that name, man.
NAAGA.
NAAGA.
National African American
Gun Association. NAAGA.co.
Okay.
And I just want to give a shout out to all the ladies really quickly, because we are standing up and we are coming through so strong. I'm so proud of you. Keep coming out.
Yes.
And I have so much love. We have so much love for you. And I'm just proud of you all coming out and getting training.
That's right. When we going together.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We love our community. We love our people, baby.
Yes.
And we'll put that information up. Text everything over. We'll put it up. And in closing, I just want to echo what TL said. Thank you for very, very much for joining us. And with some of the things you said, you speak to those people in the middle. I'm one of those folk that kind of, just in the middle, just doing my thing. And to hear that calm head and those that information presented that way, it does make a difference. So I'm sure that some of our listeners will feel the same way I do, as far as, that's something to truly, truly consider. Absolutely. So again, we want to thank y'all for what y'all do. We're going to put it out there, and we appreciate everything.
Thank you,
family.
All right,
everybody. Thank y'all for joining us.
Y'all be safe.
Thank y'all for getting this information with us. And as always, just remember that love is the new black. We see y'all next week. And thanks for coming to our digital neighborhood.
That's right, y'all. So once again, I'd like to thank you all for joining in. We hope you enjoyed yourself. We hope you enjoyed the information that was given. Like we said earlier, the information is going to be put on the website. Check it out. Consider joining. They have chapters everywhere. So check it out. It's something to consider. I'm going to consider it. And we're going to move forward. Don't forget, you can catch us on all of the major platforms. We still have merchandise available. We'll see y'all next week. Same time.
All right, we out.
Peace.